Hello, it's Dr. Farmer, and I'm doing this video to respond to the feedback that you all gave me a couple of weeks ago. I'd like to thank everyone who completed the feedback for the midterm, and I want you guys to know that your feedback is very important to me. There were a couple of things that were given to me for feedback that I want to address. Two primary issues were discussed. The first issue was, why do we have to respond to the weekly postings by Wednesday at 12 p.m.? And there were a few comments or pieces of feedback that were related to the weekly postings. So let me just explain the rationale behind it. The reason that it's Wednesday by 12 is because in order to have a weekly discussion, we have to have the responses, the initial answers to the questions, which are due by 12 on Wednesday, posted early in the week so that your peers can come back throughout the week and respond to them. Now, initially, I would prefer to have them do actually Tuesday night by 12 a.m., which is what most people want is a nighttime deadline. So if I were to change it, it would be Tuesday night at 11:59 would be the due date. My rationale was to give you a few more hours till 12 p.m. on Wednesday to complete it. Those of you all who would prefer a nighttime deadline, I recommend that you do it on Tuesday, because if we push it back to Wednesday, then it only leaves a couple of days for people to go online and respond to your posts. I do recognize that about 50% of you guys actually respond early in the week, but there are a group of people, for whatever reason, who wait until Wednesday mornings to post. So it's not everyone who would like the nighttime posting time. So to keep it fair, I'm leaving it the same, but I recommend that those of you all who would prefer a nighttime deadline to do it the night before on Tuesday night. Because remember, for this class, the week starts on Sunday. That gives us Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to make your initial post, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to make your second post. So I definitely hear you all. I think that when I teach this class in the future, I probably will just make it Tuesday night, due Tuesday night. But I am very hesitant. I've talked to a couple of you all over email. I won't change it over the semester because it just creates too much confusion. So we're going to keep the 12 p.m. Those of you all who want an earlier time, just post Tuesday. I know it doesn't sound like I'm giving you anything, but that's the best that I can do for you all. And I want you all to know that your voice was heard for that. Another bit of feedback that was given was around the exams. People requested that they have more time for the exams, which is fine. I'll extend the exam time from an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. Now, it's important to note that my exams were developed for 50-minute classes. These are exams that I used to give when I taught Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes, and so you should be able to finish these exams within 50 minutes, especially given that you're at home. Well, I don't know, but I think that you should know that historically I've given these exams in 50-minute classes and people have completed the exams. But I will expand it in response to your feedback to an hour and a half for you to complete the exams. Remember, exams are closed book, and you should be doing these from memory. We're going on the honor system here. But I suspect that one of the reasons that it's taken people a while is because they're not focused on the exam while they're taking it, because it really shouldn't take longer than an hour and 15 minutes. The other issue that related to the exams was a request for a study guide. It's important to note that my lecture notes are my study guide. Historically, I didn't actually give lecture notes. And then students requested that they have a copy of what I covered in my classes, so I started to give the lecture notes that I used to use to actually teach class. Now, I get the request for the study guide, but if you look at the first exam, then you'll realize that 95% of what was on the exam came from the study guide, the essay questions, and the slides that were given for the exam. If you know those two things, then you should get an A on this exam. And so I think that now that you've taken an exam for me, you've realized that, and I anticipate the grades will go up by average. It's also important to note that on average, the average for exam 1 was the same as it has been historically in all of my classes. Typically, exam 1 averages between 70 and 74%. Another issue or result that people gave was the issue of wanting to see their exam results. I think some of these posts were posted before we figured out the issue with IT. If you cannot see your results for your exam, you should email me and I will email the instructions. I did post it on the discussion for one of the classes, as well as anyone who sent me an email saying that they had issues seeing the results. I did respond and send those out. I think I sent a class email for that as well. So you should be able to see the results for your exam. It's important to note that I don't give you the answers to all of the questions because I use the exams again. I do give you the results for the ones that you did not get right. So you can see what you put and what you got wrong, as well as my feedback on your essay answer for the exam. So if you have any questions or issues with that, make sure that you contact me. Many of you all have been doing a great job of communicating with me. I am available. Office hours, I'm always there. If you reserve the time, then I'll be there. So let's make sure that we communicate, and I think we can get most issues resolved in the class. And then finally, this is actually related to the discussion questions. One person is concerned about not being able to go forward ahead of the class in the discussion questions, and I understand you wanting to do that. I think that the example that I use is you can't have a conversation with someone if they're not there. And remember, the discussion questions are really about having a discussion with the class and myself. So if you go ahead of the class, you're talking to people who aren't there yet, and it's not a productive thing. If you want to, though, what I would do in this situation is I just go through and look at the discussion questions and just write them up in a Word document, and then when the time comes, you can just post them. I have no problem with that. It's just a matter of the actual discussion needing to take place during the week that we have the discussion. But I have no problem with you going ahead, creating a Word document that you save for yourself, and then posting them when you get ready. That's a smart thing to do. Any other issues that come up? And by the way, I'd like to thank you all. Most of the feedback was positive, so I thank you all for that. And I don't want to overlook the fact that the feedback was positive. I really appreciate it. I put a lot of work into the class. So I thank you all for that. And the class will only improve as I teach it more over the semester. A couple of things that people wanted were more videos. As I build the class for the future, I would definitely include that. And also my plan is to provide you all with online quizzes, which was a request for the exams as well. All right, I hope to get that up for next week for the exam that's coming up. Until then, send me an email if you have any issues, and I'll talk to you soon.